Welcome back to Garrett's Guitar Den. Here we are again. So I had this weird idea. I was sitting around and I was thinking to myself, I wonder what the strangest guitar, not strange, but a normal guitar that a lot of people had, what the history of it is. Because I have one today that I've had that makes no sense down the line. So let's get into this. So in 1961, a company that we all know, we've probably all played one of their guitars, Guild. Yeah, Guild guitars that's now owned by Fender. Back then they weren't. They were starting out in their Westerly plant and they were starting to make some really cool stuff. So they come out with the D series. So and specifically today we're going to talk about the D25, which the D25 originally was supposed to be an all mahogany guitar. That's what it was. The D25 was a mahogany acoustic guitar. The original ones were a flat back, they were braced, and they were just a phenomenal instrument back then. But something went kind of crazy down the line. So we hit, the 60s. They all stay the same. We have this mahogany guitar. It's the D25. That's what everybody knew it as. All mahogany, braced backs, just flat, normal built acoustic guitar, especially for Guild. When you think of Guild, the thing that we all think of with Guild happened in 1973 to the D25 series. So something strange happened with them. In 1973, Guild decided to start doing the arched back with the D25. The typical Guild thing that we all think of today. We think of that big old arched back, no bracing. It's usually laminated mahogany or somewhere in there. And that's what we think of with Guild. Well, on the D25 series, they went to the D25M, which stood for mahogany, right? So that was the thing. That was the guitar. That was what it was supposed to be. It was supposed to be an all mahogany guitar. But what Guild ended up doing is they took the guitar and they started putting the arch back on it, the laminated arch back, which was mahogany, back and side. And they did something really strange to the top. They started using a spruce top, which is great. But they started painting the top to look like mahogany so that they kept the M spec. And so what I have for you guys today is I have a 1977 Guild D25M. Here, take a look at this guy. Just take a look at that guy. And there you go. See, it's the arch back. You can see the big old arch on there. You can see this is a spruce top. It's painted to look like mahogany. So there's been a lot of confusion down the road when people see D25s and they don't understand the difference between the airs because they sound quite a bit different through the years. So there are some that came with a mahogany top and a mahogany arched back, and you got that same thing with them. Or you had the original ones that were just a flat back, braced mahogany, all solid mahogany guitar. And then you get stuff like my 77 here that is a painted spruce top with an arched mahogany back and and laminated mahogany back and side. So it looks like an all mahogany guitar. So you end up with this look, even though this is solid spruce. It doesn't make any sense. So through the years, as this was happening, people started wondering why do they all sound so different? Because you get an original one and it sounds boxy and boomy like an all mahogany guitar would with it's got a nice articulation to it. I've had a lot of mahogany guitars. And then you get into the arched back mahogany ones with the mahogany top, and they get overly boomy with a little bit of mud under them. They just don't sound the same. And then you have one like mine that's aged for years with the spruce top and the arched mahogany back, and it's very articulate. It's very boomy, but it's very, very well rounded. Has a very pretty sound behind it. And I only wanted to get into this because I was really confused when I got mine, because I was trying to figure out, well, why is this one different from the other ones, and why is this painted? Because if you look inside here, you can see the spruce, and even like the wood grain, it's spruce. It's not mahogany on this top. This top's been fixed. It's had a crack. It's really hard. You can see right there, it's been cracked. But this is a spruce top. There's nothing, it's in beautiful shape. It's a beautiful guitar. But then you have your big old arch back. And I just wanted to put this video out there so that if people were buying these and they weren't really sure what was going on with the D25 series, well, that's what's going on. So now most of them today, you buy a D25, you're going to have the laminated back, mahogany back and sides, typical Guild fashion with the arch back, which is I love Guilds. I've had a lot of them. They speak to me in certain ways. And you're going to get that solid spruce top on most of the D25 series. But if you go backwards and you want to buy a vintage one, just pay attention to the year that they're made so you know exactly what you're getting, so you don't get it and you're not surprised with it, because it is surprising if you get one and you're hoping for an all mahogany guitar, because that's originally what these were supposed to be, and you end up with a spruce top on top of it. Now, honestly, I would take the spruce top that's on mine any day of the week over most. It sings, it's resonant, it just is so well balanced with just enough punch behind it. It's an amazing instrument. So if you find yourself out there and you're looking at guilds, you can't go wrong with most guilds. I'm just saying. They all have their own voice. They all sound amazing. Like I said, I've had a bunch of them and I love all guilds. But if you go out there and you're buying a guild, just specifically a D25, the playing man's guitar, that's what these were. Just pay attention to the serial, and when the years were made. And if you do see braces on the back and it's an all mahogany guitar, it's an early D series, an early D25 series. It's back when they were still all mahogany. It's before that 1973 funked out thing that happened where they started putting a spruce top on them and making them weird. There are very, very few 1973s out there that do have the arched back with a mahogany top, and it's very rare. But there's a few late or early 1973s that will have that. Most of them after 1973 are going to be built like mine, spruce top, painted to look like mahogany with your laminated mahogany back and side with the arch back. Everything else on them is pretty much the same. You get a really pretty mahogany neck, and you have these crazy old Guild tuners. Nothing too fancy. And you're going to get the nice little Guild on the headstock there. Mine's starting to fade, so you can't really see it as well, but there it is. It's right there. So they're just a phenomenal guitar. This one plays perfect. It's set up really well. It just has a big sound. Even on bar chords, it sounds great. It sounds good open. And I'm a finger picker usually, so I don't, especially on an acoustic, I don't really play with many picks, which makes this guitar better for me because it projects so well just with a finger. It's just a beautiful instrument. So anyway, I just wanted to talk about the D25 series today because it confused me for a little bit until I did a bunch of research. But if you're thinking about buying a Guild D25, you cannot go wrong with one of these. Even the new ones are really nice. I've had a couple new D25s, and they're phenomenal instruments. I do prefer an older one that's a little aged. It opens up a little bit more. This one has a special set of strings on it. This one has Martin retros on it, the nickel steel retros on it. It seems to make this guitar sing a little bit better. I have had everything from Diodario XS's and everything else on it, and it plays and sounds wonderful, but the Martin Retros really give it a nice voice that I'm looking for when I want, a picker's guitar that I can play and take and go sit in with people with. This guitar is the one that I would do it with. I don't have to worry about it getting another little chunk or chip out of it because it's already got a bunch of little bruises and little nicks and little things going on with it. It's not a perfect guitar, but it's an absolutely beautiful guitar. And it's an absolute doll of a player. So, if you're thinking about Guild, go out and grab yourself a Guild. Because these are great guitars and they can be picked up relatively cheap. I mean, most of these older Guild D25s, you can pick up anywhere from the range of $300 all the way up to $800-900 for a really nice condition one. A good player's grade one like this one is, where it's just got some nicks, it had a top crack fix. It's a $300, $400, $500 guitar, which is honestly, for an American-made acoustic guitar, that is dirt cheap, and you need to go check them out. So get yourself one if you haven't yet, or if you have one, drop me a comment, man. Let me know what you have. Let me know if you got an old Guild, because I adore these guitars. I'd love to talk to you about it. Again, I'm Garrett. This is Garrett's Guitar Den, and thanks for stopping in.